Hello, and welcome to Afternoon Tea with Karen and Karen's Library with some clips that I'm a bit sus about.
We start with breaking news out of Melbourne, where Victorian Premier Jacinta Allen has been disrupted during a press conference by self-proclaimed neo-Nazi Thomas Sewell. The Premier was responding to questions about last weekend's anti-immigration protests when the 32-year-old interrupted, calling her a coward.
Do we need to pause for tea?
Hey, Jacinta Allen, why don't you think Australians should have the right to protest? Hey, Jacinta, put your hands on me. Put your hands on me.
Dylan.
Hey, Jacinta Allen, why don't you think Australians...
Yes, it is.
Don't put your hands on me. Don't put
Dylan.
Yeah, you don't have the
tell
right...
Dylan to
I'm at
stop.
a safe distance. You don't have to put your hands on me. Hey, Jacinta Allen, why don't Australians have the right to protest? Why don't Australians have the right to protest? Why do you want to ban us for protesting?
Let's go.
Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our own country, you coward? Shouldn't we have the right to speak in our country, you coward? Have your goons attacked me? You're a coward. And we're going to take this country back from politicians like you. I never see anyone shake your hand. I had 500 people come up to me and shake my hand on the weekend, and there was 50,000 of us.
The Premier was quickly whisked away as Thomas Sewell walked off.
Now, of things I've learnt in life, when things don't make sense, usually they're not true. So why would you even show up to this, let alone know that you're going to get filmed doing that, when 4 months ago and for the last 4 months you've been like...
A prominent neo-Nazi boss arrested in Adelaide CBD on Australia Day has declared he wants to enter politics. Thomas Sewell's lawyer told a magistrate it's his constitutional right, and any attempt to stop him would be an abomination.
Neo-Nazi activists in full voice on Australia Day.
We'll sing Matilda, we'll sing Matilda.
Their leader, Thomas Sewell, taken into custody. Today, a stunning admission. He and his National Socialist Network co-accused Joel Davis intend to form a political party.
It would seem to be a political organisation, and it's an abomination in this country that we are seeking to ban or criminalise a legitimate political ideology.
The pair appeared via telephone link in a failed bid to have removed what they say are draconian bail conditions, preventing them from associating with their members.
We do have a constitutional issue here. Their right to political communication is clearly being infringed.
The prosecutor said the non-association order was sought for good reason, to stop mass gatherings like the one on Australia Day, and there were serious concerns about disruptions to the upcoming Anzac Day events.
The magistrate agreed. I do have a real fear of a risk of reoffending by Mr Sewell. He is a leader of a white supremacist group. I fear for victims. Both men intend to contest the charges. A trial date will be set at the next hearing in May.
So banned in Victoria as well. What do you reckon? And then once they're banned, who will they ban next, hey? Coincidentally, the new anti-vilification laws kick in Victoria this month.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
Well, guys, I'm looking forward to the 2028 Olympics. It's going to be the first Olympics that aren't woke in a while. Even though it's actually happening in the People's Republic of California, it's going to be transgender free. Now, we saw what happened in the 2021 Olympics. It was woke. We saw what happened definitely last year in the Paris Olympics. It was woke. But there's a new sheriff in town when it comes to the United States. President Trump, his administration has already said, we're not allowing transgenders to get visas to come into this country and compete against women in their own sport. So these transgenders, man, it's over with, man. And a lot of these governing bodies, man, they've already said, nah, we're changing our policies. You guys can't participate. There's going to be no more main caliphs out there participating in women's sports. He's already been banned, by the way, unless he actually submits to a sex test that he needs to pass, even though we know he would actually fail it. Now, in Australian football, you actually have a transgender that is freaking out now that he won't be able to qualify for the Olympics. But the thing is, man, like I said, these governing bodies, they're changing the rules. They're saying, nah, you must compete with your biological sex. He doesn't like that. But even so, if he were to actually make the team as a transgender and qualify for the Olympics, he's not getting to the country. So it's a losing situation for him. But now he's moaning and groaning, guys. He is freaking out because it is all over for him. And folks, this is a large male, folks, competing against women in football. This should not be happening, folks, but it still is. Let's go ahead and get into this. Now, over here on Daily Mail, man, why are you guys using these preferred pronouns? I mean, they're using like she and her. But look at this man towering over the women. Look how he's built. And he's playing football against these women, really? But anyway, it says a transgender athlete blocked from playing AFLW is now fearing a fresh ban that would stop him from representing Australia at the Los Angeles Olympics. In 2017, transgender footballer Hannah Mounsey was ruled ineligible for the AFL women's draft under the league's gender diversity policy, which assessed physical attributes such as strength, stamina, and physique. The AFL said his inclusion could have an unreasonable physical advantage over other players, a decision that drew criticism from advocates who argued it was discriminatory. Really? I mean, you guys saw this picture right here, right? They're calling this discriminatory if we don't allow him to actually play against the women. Wow. Okay. Mounsey, who had previously represented Australia in men's handball, was later allowed to play in state level women's competitions, including the VFLW. Now the 35-year-old has returned to his first love, playing handball for Australia with a view to represent his country at the Los Angeles Olympics. Not going to happen. Now they call this handball, but it definitely looks more like football, but still doesn't matter. Mounsey made his debut for Australia's women's national team in late 2018, competing at the Asian Women's Handball Championship in November. Wow. He remains an integral part of Australian women's handball team, which hopes to qualify for the LA Olympics in 2028 and then gain automatic qualification for the Brisbane 2032 games. However, Mounsey doesn't expect his dream to come true, expecting rising anti-transgender athlete sentiment to slam the door shut on him. Quote, I expect to be banned by the end of the year, if I'm honest. It seems like that is where they are going at the moment. They're looking probably at a ban across the board, and not just for trans athletes, but intersex athletes. They will be forced to compete in the men's competition. But I am playing for Australia at the moment. I have played for the Australian women's team for 7 or 8 years now, and I have had no issues really at all, especially from overseas. I've been very open about it with the international federations. They have been fantastic. The Asian Handball Federation has no issues at all. Have competed in the Asian Championships and had no issues, and no other teams I have played against in those competitions have ever raised any concerns or issues at all. It is the exact opposite and from countries where people might be more conservative. I have had such positive responses from some of the girls from Iran and Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan. Yeah, well, guess what? You're not getting to this country. Oh no, you're not getting to this country to play in the Olympics. Not for the women. Now, if you want to go over to the men's team and try to qualify there, hey, go for it. But you won't get a visa. So it's kind of a moot point, right? It's a moot point. I mean, it's just not going to happen, man. But he can continue to whine and cry, man. But your own governing body is going to take you out first, even before you even try to get to the Olympics. Yeah, it's over with, man. It is over with. I mean, this is ridiculous, man. Look at these pictures. How in the world was he able to compete against women? He's so much bigger. Obviously, he's stronger. This is wow. Wow. And look at this, guys. You can easily point out the mill. He's bigger than anyone on the team. He's standing in the back. He's standing in the back and looks like a male. Man, my goodness.
So, yes, that's against the law in the state of Victoria and actually all of Australia because a court case, a lawsuit can be taken against you in Victoria from Victoria. Yay! And banning the Nazi salutes and symbols was the first stage of the hate crime laws because it lowered the threshold to let all this stuff in. First stage, Nazi hate symbols now banned in Victoria. So I have been on Twitter lately and seen that I'm not the only person that's sus on them, which is very reassuring to know. And that'll do. See you later. Bye.